Ever wonder why we eat the way we do today? Join me on a journey through time as I explore how human nutrition has transformed from ancient gathering to modern health science. What we put on our plates tells a fascinating story about our evolution, culture, and understanding of health. Have you ever looked down at your dinner plate and wondered how humans figured out what to eat in the first place? I certainly have, and that curiosity has taken me on a remarkable journey through the history of human nutrition. Today, I'm sharing what I've discovered about our fascinating relationship with food throughout the ages. Knowledge that might just transform how you think about your next meal. The hunter-gatherer origins. Standing in a remote forest in Tanzania last year, watching members of the Hadza tribe, one of the last hunter-gatherer societies on Earth, I witnessed something remarkable. A tribesman carefully collected honey from a wild beehive while his companions gathered baobab fruit and tubers. Their diet, virtually unchanged for thousands of years, suddenly made our modern food concerns seem very new indeed. For roughly 99% of human existence, we were all hunter-gatherers. Our ancestors consumed an estimated 100 to 150 different plant species annually, along with various animal proteins when available. This diet provided a diverse micronutrient profile that most modern humans can only dream of. The fiber intake alone was staggering. Approximately 100 to 150 grams daily compared to our modern average of just 15 grams. What struck me most was the absence of chronic diseases that plague our modern world. Obesity, diabetes, and heart disease were virtually non-existent among hunter-gatherer populations. Their food wasn't just sustenance. It was medicine, providing everything their bodies needed without the excess that burdens our healthcare systems today. The agricultural revolution, blessing or curse? When I visited archaeological sites in the Fertile Crescent, modern-day Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, I stood on the very soil where humans first domesticated wheat around 10,000 BCE. This agricultural revolution changed everything about human society, allowing us to settle permanently and build civilizations. Yet the archaeological record tells a surprising story. Early farmers were actually less healthy than their hunter-gatherer predecessors. Analysis of skeletal remains shows they were shorter, suffered more nutritional deficiencies, and had worse dental health. Their narrow diet, heavily dependent on a few staple crops, lacked the diversity their bodies evolved to expect. I spoke with Dr. Sarah Matthews, a paleoanthropologist who explained, when humans transitioned to agriculture, we traded nutritional variety for caloric stability. We could feed more people, but the quality of individual nutrition declined significantly. It's perhaps the first example of quantity over quality in human diet. This transition established our dependence on grains that continues today. Wheat, rice, and corn now provide more than half of humanity's caloric intake. A dramatic departure from our ancestral diet that has shaped not just our health, but our entire social structure. Ancient food as medicine. During my travels through Greece, I visited the island of Kos, birthplace of Hippocrates, often called the father of modern medicine. His famous quote, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food," wasn't just philosophical. It was practical advice in a world without pharmaceuticals. Ancient Greeks classified foods according to their elemental properties, hot, cold, wet, and dry, and prescribed specific diets to restore balance in the body. Garlic was valued for its warming properties, ideal for cold conditions, while lettuce was cooling for fevers and inflammation. This wasn't unique to Greece. While researching in China, I discovered medical texts from the 3rd century BC that classified foods according to their energetic properties, yin cooling and yang warming. Traditional Chinese medicine practitioners still use these principles today, prescribing foods like ginger for its warming effect and watermelon for cooling. What fascinates me is how modern science has validated many of these ancient practices. Ginger really does contain anti-inflammatory compounds, and many cooling foods are indeed high in antioxidants that combat inflammation. Our ancestors may not have had the scientific terminology, but they understood the healing power of food through careful observation across generations. Spices, the original global commodity. Standing in the bustling spice markets of Istanbul, breathing in the aromatic symphony of cardamom, turmeric, and saffron, I realized I was experiencing something that has captivated humans for millennia. Spices weren't just flavoring. They were treasure, worth their weight in gold, and the driving force behind global exploration. The spice trade created the first truly global economy, with routes stretching from China through India, the Middle East, and into Europe. Christopher Columbus was looking for a faster route to the spice-rich East Indies when he stumbled upon the Americas. The desire for cinnamon, pepper, and cloves literally changed the map of the world. What's often overlooked is that many spices were prized for preservative and medicinal properties. In an era before refrigeration, antimicrobial spices like cinnamon and clove help prevent food spoilage. Turmeric, with its active compound curcumin, has been used medicinally in India for over 4,000 years before modern research confirmed its anti-inflammatory properties. Industrial Revolution, abundance and new problems. My grandfather often told stories about growing up in rural America, where food preparation was a daily family activity, consuming hours of labor. The Industrial Revolution changed all that, bringing unprecedented food abundance through mechanization, preservation techniques, and eventually artificial additives. While researching at the Smithsonian, I examined early advertisements for modern processed foods from the early 20th century. They marketed convenience and uniformity as the pinnacle of progress. Housewives were promised freedom from kitchen drudgery through canned, packaged, and later frozen foods. This revolution solved problems of scarcity, but created new ones. Nutritional quality declined as processing removed fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Shelf-stable products required more salt, sugar, and artificial preservatives. For the first time in human history, calories became divorced from nutrition, could be simultaneously overweight and malnourished. The statistics are sobering. Since 1970, Americans' caloric intake has increased by approximately 23%, while nutrient density has declined. This shift correlates directly with rising obesity rates and chronic disease. We solved hunger, but created a new health crisis. Ancient wisdom in modern nutrition. When I interviewed Dr. Miguel Altieri, a pioneer in agroecology at UC Berkeley, he shared something profound. Many traditional food systems achieve nutritional balance not through scientific analysis, but through cultural evolution. Over generations, communities developed dietary patterns that provided complete nutrition from local resources. The Mediterranean diet exemplifies this wisdom. While visiting small coastal villages in Greece, I observed elderly residents still preparing meals as their grandparents taught them: abundant vegetables, olive oil, moderate seafood, minimal meat, and daily physical activity. This wasn't designed by nutritionists. It evolved naturally over centuries. Similarly, the traditional Japanese diet, with its balance of rice, vegetables, fermented food, and seafood, developed through cultural experience rather than nutritional science. Yet, both these traditional diets are now celebrated by researchers for their health benefits and longevity outcomes. The future of food, coming full circle. Recently, I visited a regenerative farm in California where modern technology meets ancient wisdom. The farmer used smartphone apps to monitor soil health while applying crop rotation techniques practiced by indigenous Americans centuries ago. This convergence of traditional knowledge and modern science may represent the future of healthy eating. Modern nutritional science is increasingly validating traditional practices. Fermentation enhances nutrient bioavailability. Diverse plant foods support a healthy gut microbiome, and whole foods provide synergistic benefits that isolated supplements cannot. We're rediscovering what our ancestors knew intuitively, that food systems must work with nature rather than against it. As consumers become more health conscious and environmentally aware, we're seeing a renaissance of traditional food wisdom adapted for contemporary life. From the explosion of fermented foods like kombucha to the rising popularity of ancient grains like quinoa and millet, what's old is becoming new again. The most profound lesson I've learned from studying food history is that human nutrition isn't just about science. It's about relationship. Our ancestors related to food as something sacred, medicinal, and communal. In our rush for convenience and abundance, we've often lost that connection. My own journey has convinced me that the healthiest approach to eating combines ancestral wisdom with modern knowledge. Understanding food history doesn't mean rejecting progress. It means learning from the past to create a healthier future. What ancient food wisdom have you incorporated into your modern diet? Has understanding food history changed how you eat? Click subscribe to join me on more journeys through the fascinating world of nutrition history, and comment below with your favorite traditional food practice that deserves more attention. Next week, We'll explore how different cultures use fermentation to preserve foods and enhance nutrition long before refrigeration existed.